Okay, today we're going to do Algebra 8.4, more multiplication properties of exponents. Okay, so we're going to add to the ones we learned in 8.3. Okay, so the first one, raising a power to a power. All right, so what that means is if we have 5 to the 4th, and that is then raised, and then that one's squared. Okay, now instead of adding, you're going to multiply your exponents together. Okay, so it becomes 5 to the 8th, like that. Okay, with a variable n squared. If it's this is called a power raised to a power. So that would become n to the 10th. You multiply them together. Okay, and we'll do some examples after I do the 2. The other one is raising a product to a power. So that means if you have some multiplication in there, so if we had a times b raised to the n, it would be a, then everything inside would be raised to that. Okay, so if you had a squared b to the 5th raised, cubed, then it would be a to the 6th b to the 15th, because you would multiply that 3 times everything in there. Okay, so let's do some examples. Okay, so number 1, so x cubed to the 6th, okay, you're just going to multiply them together to get to x to the 18th. Okay, before, when you're multiplying a base and a base, you add, but now a power to a power, you multiply. Now, of course, we can throw negatives in there. Okay, a to the negative 4th to the 7th is a to the negative 28th. Multiplying together. The multiplication rules still stand. C to the 5th times c cubed squared. Now the key here is to know that that squared is only going to that one. It's not going to the c to the 5th. Okay, so it stays c to the 5th, then this becomes c to the 6th because we're multiply. But then, now we use our other rule. So now we're going to add, and we get c to the 11th because this is a base multiplied by base. So we're going to be putting these all together. Okay, so it's going to get pretty confusing here. Okay, so x to the 5th times x cubed, even if this one's in parentheses over here, to the negative 2. Again, that negative 2 is only going to the 3. Okay, so x to the 5th times, this becomes x to the negative 6. Then again, we're going to add those together, 5 plus negative 6, and x to the negative 1. Now we even have to take it one step further since this is a negative 1, and we got to flip it. Remember our rule? X to the, you don't have to put to the first, okay, but 1 over x. Okay? So number 5, a to the 4th squared times a squared to the 5th. So now each of them have some. So a to the 8th times a to the 10th, and then you add it to get a to the 18th. Okay, so you have to remember lots of rules here. Okay, now using the raising a product to a power, 3x to the 4th, so everything inside is raised to the 4th. Okay, so 3 to the 4th is 81, x to the 4th. Okay, so if we have 2x squared to the 4th, we have 2 to the 4th, x to the 8th, and 2 to the 4th, so what, 16, x to the 8th. I had to think about that one for a minute. Okay, let me go to a different page. I'm running out of room there. Okay, number 8, and I'm trying to just give you all different ones. 3t to the 0 power, remember our 0 rule, and then to the 4th. Okay, you can either do what's inside first and just make that 3 to the 4th, or if you did 3 to the 4th, well, 0 times 4 is just 0, so 3 to the 4th times 1, okay, so it's just 3 to the 4th, which is 81, okay. and then 9. X to the negative 2, so now we're going to be throwing more in there. X to the negative 2 squared, and then 3xy squared to the 4th. And this is squared, even though it looks like cubed. Okay, so that squared only goes with that, so that's x to the negative 4. And then this one, the 4 goes to everything. So 3 to the 4th, x to the 4th, y to the 8th. Remember, you multiply. So then we have x to the negative 4th. 3 to the 4th is what? 81. Then we have x to the 4th, y to the 8th. So now we still have to combine. You have to keep combining until you can't anymore. So we have x to the negative 4th, x to the 4th. Okay, so since they have the same base, you add them. And then times 81 times y to the 8th. Well, this becomes x to the 0. So what does that become? When it's x to the 0, it just becomes 1. So this is just 81 y to the 8th because it's just times 1. Okay, so there's a lot of steps in there you got to try to remember. Okay, 2 more examples. We have 6m in parentheses 3. So it really matters where those parentheses are. 5m to the negative 3 squared. So this becomes 6 cubed m cubed n cubed. And then 5 squared m to the negative 6. Remember, you multiply those. So 6 cubed, 6 and 6 is 36. 36 times 6 is what? 216, I believe. M cubed, n cubed. Okay, and then we have 5 squared, which is 25. M to the negative 6. Okay, so now we multiply the 216 and 25, which, okay, so 216, oh, where's my marker? 216 times 25, which is 5,400, I believe. I just did it real quick, so we'll see. So 5,400, and then we have m to the 3, m to the negative 6. So we're going to add those and get m to the negative 3, n cubed. Okay, so I wish we were done, but we're not, because now we have this negative 3. Can't have that. So 5,400 n cubed over, whoa, my marker just went crazy. Okay, let me rewrite it. 5,400 n cubed all over m cubed. So we want to make that positive. Okay? Now last one, and again we have to bring back our scientific notation. So 10 to the negative 3, 3 times 10 to the 8th squared. Okay, this is the last one. Again, this is just 10, this is just a time sign. Okay, it's just written kind of like that. So we have 10 to the negative 3, then we'll have 3 squared times 10 to the 16th, because it's going to be 8 times 2. Okay, so we have 10 to the negative 3 times 9. Really, you can just put times 10 to the 16th. Then we can combine these, so it's 9 times 10, 16, 15, 14, 13. Okay, and the way we like to write it is like this. Okay, and that is it.